Hi, my name is Philippe Joyal and I'm a third year student at HEC Montréal. I would like to start by thanking the SCU in providing me this mandate of helping them find companies that would be willing to host an international case competition in HEC while respecting your current long-standing partners. So before I dive into the details, I would really like to show you three main factors that will be our outline in searching for said company. The first one being identifying the elements which would make a company interested in hosting this competition and hosting international students. Then factors just to make sure that our company respects our long-standing partners that we have in order to avoid any conflicts. And finally, a clear communication strategy that we're going to use throughout your process. So first of all, we would look for companies that would have essentially, offices around the world, right? I can think of Bombardier and Caisse de dépôt et Placement du Québec, which have offices worldwide, and you can even invite universities with offices in those cities such as Singapore. They may even hire eventually universities that were invited to our competition. So definitely they would be interested. After that, I would look at companies that are in Quebec, in Canada, but maybe they don't have an international presence, but they still want a global influence or to be a leader in their industry and a model for other companies within that industry. I'm thinking about renewables, right? Quebec and Canada, we're a leader in renewables. So Hydro-Québec, right, is just here in Quebec, but it could still show them as a leader in the renewable industry and serve as an example for maybe Sweden, the students back at home. They can see that model and learn from the Montreal expertise. Then I would look for companies who want to expand internationally. Recently, we saw, surprisingly, Couchard wanted to buy 7i, the holding company of 7-Eleven. And that is a major step in their expansion strategy. Maybe they're looking at other markets as well and learning about their own niche industry from students in international regions could be very interesting. And finally, if you look at the retail industry, if you want to do something more marketing, you can look at Canada Goose or Lululemon, which would like to improve their marketing and branding across different regions. So those are all four factors that you can look at to find, first of all, a company that wants to hold this competition. But now that you have your list of companies that would be eligible, that would be interested, you need to make sure that they're going to respect your current partners that you have right now within the SU. So the first one being obvious, don't find a direct competitor, right? So if you're working with Bombardier, right, then don't go and hire Airbus. That one is pretty obvious. But you can also look for, something that is in the same industry, but a difference that they offer, like a complementary service, or maybe even a client of one of your companies that you have. That is also accepted. However, something that is very important to mention is the case itself. If they have somewhat of a business relationship with one of your current partners, you must make sure that the case will be distinct from your relationship with that partner. So an example I can give would be a Rio Tinto. Do not go analyzing the supply chain and the costs of Rio Tinto if you're working with one of the suppliers of Rio Tinto for their metals and mining. So that's just something to consider. And then finally, making sure that the values and the ESG are all on the same page. You want to choose a partner that has a good brand image within Canada and internationally. You would not want to tarnish the reputation of both HEC Montréal and the SU by choosing a partner that doesn't have the same values as your current partners or certain industry standards. And finally, the communication strategy that you would have to outreach those companies and your current partners that you have. It's really to keep everyone on the same level and making sure that you're being very clear with your goals. So the first thing would be to contact your own partners that you have. Maybe they would straight away be interested in hosting this international case comp. Maybe not, and that is okay. And if they're not interested, then clearly show the outline and your strategy that you're going to use to find this new company that's going to host it, and how this is not going to affect the business of your clients that you have essentially. And then finally, once you have chosen the company, you've locked it down, you can then show an outline of the case, how it's going to look like, just to make sure that it's going to respect what you have with your long-standing partner, and there's not going to be any business implications from this case on that side. So really, the communication strategy is to start out early with them and being clear about what your intentions are. What is your strategy? So if you implement those three factors, which is just a list of international companies that will be interested in hosting this competition, and then making sure that they're going to respect your current partners, and then having a clear communication strategy, I'm sure that you're going to be able to find a partner to host this new competition within HEC Montréal. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope that these three advices were very helpful for you.